Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
In Tock's workshop, with the rain lashing down, a portal opens. Through it steps an owl, dressed in fine-tailored clothing with a wide-brimmed hat. In his hand is a book. He introduces himself as Desmond Hume, of the famous Hume family, and that the book is a gift.
That is why I have returned to Elestia with such haste, to bring you this. Simply open this book, and a world of wonder awaits you.
Tock, you open the book, and are met with a familiar voice.
Hello? Hello, is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm trying to talk to my friends from the faraway lands. You know the ones I told you about? There is Tock, who is an automaton, and there is Benny, who follows the path of cunning, and there is Bardal, who is the world's greatest champion.
Oh yes, I'd like to meet those.
Oh, they're thoroughly interesting people. Yes, they are.
We're getting looks. We should probably get to the point.
We probably should. Okay. Tock! Hello! It's me, Sebastian Longpaw, Far Runner of the Forest Guard, your friend from Concordia. Hello! I hope you're well. I hope Benny and Bardal are well, and that everything's going just smashing, really. I have a friend with me who you may have heard. Do you want to introduce yourself? Do you want me to introduce? I'm never sure on the protocols of this.
I don't know what... Am I just supposed to speak into this thing?
Yes, apparently. It will transverse our voices across dimensions and realms to, where my friend Tock is. It's all magic, apparently, so that's how it works. Anyway, yes, go on. Say hello to my chums.
Hello, chums. I'm Bramble Winterset. Sebastian says that you might need some help. Do you need beer? Because I can bring some beer. I'm trying to stop him bringing his bagpipes. I mean, because I don't think anyone needs that. I don't know who you are, but hello.
Yes, this is Bramble. She's a good friend of mine. Which brings me on to this point, indeed. So, last time we spoke, you said that things were getting a little bit spicy over there, and you might need some help administering a bit of bopping to various and sundry naughty folk. And of course, you all went home through the portal, and I stayed here to do my duty to the Queen. I've earned more medals, more things have happened, so many more things have happened. So, I believe that you now have the book, which means you can talk to us whenever you want, and that we can talk to you whenever we want, rather than trying to get this stone to work. The Avaros has told me that he's working on a way to combine the book with the Obsidian Matrix, which he's nearly fixed, he tells me. It's very fascinating stuff. He went on at great length about it, and I'll be honest, I lost track a few moments in because I saw a butterfly, and it was a beautiful butterfly. Weirdly, did you see that one, Bramble? Its wings were not symmetrical. Like the patterns, they were very different. Quite odd.
I don't like to judge.
I wasn't. I'm not making any assumptions about its lifestyle. I just thought it was quite peculiar.
There you go. Making assumptions about its lifestyle.
Yes, I suppose. I feel a bit terrible now.
Just appreciate it for unique creature it is.
That's a good way of looking at it. What?
Unique thinker.
Unique thinker. Speaking of unique thinkers, yes, Avaros has said that he's trying to get the Obsidian Matrix to work with the book. And if he can get it working using the book as an anchor of some form, even though a book can't be an anchor unless you're sailing a literary sea, and that seems to take just too many steps into the world of metaphors for my simple brain.
The otters have tried to use books as anchors.
I'm not surprised about the otters trying to do that. You can't rely on anything otters do.
Except for fishing. Very good at that.
And smashing rocks on their tummy.
No, they don't smash rocks on their tummy.
What do they smash on their tummy? I think it might be clams with rocks.
Kind of a personal question.
It is a little. Once I swear I'm not normally this bad. I'm just too excited to be talking to my friends again. On which note, yes, Avaros is hoping that he can get it working pretty sharpish, so that when things get really spicy, we can come and be heroes with you again for a while, because it was such spiffing fun last time. And the Queen has said that we're allowed to come and be heroes. She said she could not possibly stand in my way, and that even if she ordered me not to, I'd just disobey her and do something heroic and probably end up with a medal at the end of it anyway. Let us know when you need us, and I'm quietly confident that Averos will have worked out how to do it by then, and if he hasn't, I'll give him a thump, and that will probably get it fixed.
I mean, violence isn't always the answer. Generally the answer.
Less violence and more percussive maintenance.
I do like the noises he makes when you do that.
He doesn't.
I know.
We're going to pop off now. We've got some things to do over here, but give us a shout when you need a hand, and we should be able to come along and, well, be big damned heroes over there as well.
I won't let him bring his bagpipes.
Yes, no bagpipes coming with me. That'd be... just no. Couldn't be doing it. Tock, get me some bagpipes. Stash them over there. There will be leverets to scare.
You know I can hear you, right?
No? I was whispering.
Yes. Yes, you were.
Until then, all the best. I hope you are well. Love to Benny and Bardle from me. Love to you, obviously. Ta-ta. Say ta-ta, Bramble.
Ta-ta, Bramble?
Yes. Goodbye.
Understood.
Welcome one and all to Dice Company's Small Embers Chapter 78, where a group of friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Tom, and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of this band of heartfelt, melodramatic, soppy sods. Heartfelt, melodramatic, soppy sods, please introduce yourself and tell the honest one fun fact about your characters. Go!
Hi, I'm Harry, and I play Tock, an imposing 6'8" automaton.
Hey!
Tock has been experimenting on a new potion. Inspired by Vander's comments and a small biological sample taken some months ago, the resulting decoction has been brewed up and is nearly ready for testing on live subjects. All that is missing is a specific transient biofluid, secreted mucosal nutrient slurry for flavour to aid in the human's willing consumption.
Oh, God.
Oh. But you've given me the perfume, so this is something else.
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't sound trap-like.
I'm pretty sure the humans will be delighted.
You're pretty sure, or Tock's pretty sure?
Tock, of course.
Because you said I.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm sure I'm a human and I'll be delighted.
Makes me think you're not human.
I just come across as way too suspicious at the moment, don't I?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I play Vander Finnick. Vander is fluent in 2 languages, but he can lie in 9.
Has he learned one crude phrase that he can say in lots of different languages?
You have to find out how. You can just do it.
Does he know how to say he's an imposing 6'8" automaton?
Just 9 different languages, yeah.
In binary.
Well, I play a nice character. Hello, I'm Dave, and I play Petren Oakflower, a nice character.
Don't tell the audience how to feel.
In the light of the map that he found and his conversation with Barilla, Petren is rethinking what old Papa Highmore said to him about focusing on misery. At the time, he thought it was some kind of incomprehensible slight. But now it appears that the old man was hinting about where he could find other furbolgs. But this itself leads to questions. How could he know this? And secondly, why would he be trying to help Petren? These questions remain a puzzle, but for Petren, it seems all the signposts point to misery. He can only hope that this is literally rather than figuratively.
He should join Seeksorrow's support group.
I know I'm like missing the point wildly here, but I'm pretty sure that Radagard would not enjoy being referred to as Papa Highmore.
I couldn't remember his name, so
His name is Cedric as well.
Oh,
that turns out you can remember his name either.
we're estranged. Whoops.
Don't worry, I'll definitely cut that out of the podcast.
Damn it.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I play Oberon Seeksorrow. And a few years ago, Seeksorrow created a drinking song that really caught on in Frost Hollow. And to cut a long story short, it's now illegal to sing the Gravedigger's Jig or to play the associated drinking game anywhere in the city.
The Gravedigger's Jig. I mean, that's a fantastic name for a song, to be fair.
It really is.
I mean, it'd be a great name for a drinking game as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, it wouldn't be the same if it was the Gravedigger's Ditty or the Gravedigger's Ballad. It wouldn't work, but the Gravedigger's Jig is just right.
Yeah, you've pitched that perfectly. Some housekeeping. Don't forget to check out our companion podcasts, The Tales of Kalevala, Around the Campfire, and Extra Roll. Follow us on social medias like Bluesky, TikTok, and YouTube. Come join us in the Discord, our Discord server, the greatest TTRPG space in the entire world. And if you're not already, please consider signing up to our Patreon. Even the free tier gets some good stuff. And please remember, never be cruel, never be cowardly. Remember, hate is always foolish, and love is always wise. Always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. Laugh hard, run fast, be kind. And let's turn the page on the next chapter of Dice Company. Previously on Small Embers. The Order of the Heron left First Sea Lady Nori Gosler contemplating an offer to join them. Petren met another furbolg called Barilla. Seeksorrow explained his past life to Vander, and Tock received word that the Knights of Scarlet were mobilizing towards Sanctuary, answering an invitation from Rosalind. Unbeknownst to any of them, a figure watched from the docks of Greyport as a storm rolled in from the sea, and in Tock's workshop, a portal opened and an owl stepped through. Introducing himself as Desmond Hume, he arrived with a gift for Tock, which allowed communication with his old friends in Concordia. The following morning rises, and the storm has worsened. In the galley of the Sterling, Plex approaches the group at breakfast.
Crew, a human arrived with a message from the First Sea Lady of Shale. She has requested that you all attend the North Tower this evening to receive their decision on the future of Shale's air fleet.
A message from the Sky Marshal,
Vander says, placing his bowl of soup on the table.
How intriguing.
I believe it was the First Sea Lady.
Of course,
Says Vander, desperately spreading his propaganda while pulling the note out of Plex's hands. He rereads it.
The North Tower. Creative.
And he slips the note in his pocket.
Well, boys, it appears we have an appointment to keep this evening, which gives us the day to engage in other matters.
I've got to say, Vander, I don't quite understand why we're trying so hard to curry favour with this First Sea Lady and her cohort. They've been nothing but rude to us throughout. Well, I mean, why do we care what they think of us?
I see you are still finding your feet among the noble classes. It is our preset to be utterly repugnant to one another. It is a sign of great class.
Well, I'm not a fan of it, I have to say. I don't like it at all. I think I'd rather spend time with the common folk if this is what the lords and ladies are like.
Humble brag, common man.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Apart from your friend Morticia, she seemed very nice, actually.
She is a different creature.
Vander says, his eye misting for a moment.
But to the point, the to and fro we have had so far has been rather encouraging, I think.
Petren looks slightly baffled by that statement. She said an awful lot of very rude things about you and me and Seeksorrow. I don't think she had anything too bad to say about Tock, if memory serves.
Vander stands and stares into the middle distance.
She has identified me as a rival, Petren. That is why she was defensive. It is natural when a man of such command enters the room, when you aim yourself to hold the top spot.
Well, I might be right. Us furbolgs, we don't have a top spot, and it makes everything a great deal simpler, if you ask me. But I suppose if we need this fleet, we need this fleet. I'm not sure I understand that either, but oh well. Petren looks slightly forlorn.
Allow me to express another benefit to the fleet, Petren. Your interests lie in misery, and if we are to deal with matters there and the army that spills out from that region, we will need tactical advantages. Think of what a fleet of airships could be in such an engagement.
Well, military strategy is a little bit beyond me, Vander, I have to admit, so I'll take your word for that. It certainly sounds useful. I have to admit that.
And do you imply taking the furbolgs to war?
Certainly, if there is a sizable force, we will consider the possibilities.
Oh, no. I won't be responsible for taking furbolgs into a war. If it comes to liberating them from captivity or hostility, which may be forced upon them, that's a different thing. But imposing a war on them, oh no, I can't be doing that.
Correct, Petren. I believe the Empire has imposed the war.
I think you've misunderstood my meaning there, Tock, and I can't tell if you've done it on purpose.
How do you impose a war on a culture without hierarchy, one hypothesizes?
Petren, if the furbolgs don't want to fight, they could still play a part in our fleet. But it sounds to me, Vander, if we're expecting a fleet to join us later, that what we don't have is much of a crew for that. And if Petren wants to go and meet the common people of Shale today, then maybe a little recruitment drive would be good. If you're confident we've got a fleet to fill, we don't necessarily want the Shale nobles, lackeys to crew it. So why don't we get out on the dock, put up a few big banners, offer some of our gold coins out and start recruiting a few people who can sail the ships and maybe do some of the fighting, and then the furbolgs can be navigators and medics and cooks and all that sort of thing, Petren, and you can leave the fighting to the humans.
An interesting idea. I've no doubt that the captains of the current fleet will have recruited crews, but having our own recruits mingled amongst them would be of benefit in terms of future allegiances.
Well, and you're good at talking to fancy people and teaching us all about disdain. The Seeksorrow frowns, trying to look disdainful. But I'm quite good with the common folk, I once made up a song, got very popular in Frost Hollow. So I reckon, put me in amongst the people, I could get people fired up and ready. Maybe a couple of bottles of rum all round. And before they know it, they'll be waking up on our ships on their way to misery, so to speak.
Quite, says Vander disdainfully. But I am not just a creature of disdain, Seeksorrow. I have many sides to me. Returning to our other conversation, Petren, if I were to wish to drive a tribe of furbolgs to war, how might one go about such an idea?
Petren gazes out of the porthole into middle distance and says, I'm not sure I'm ready to tell you that, Vander, I'm afraid.
You hear the sound of a cane getting louder behind you.
I overstepped myself, Petren. I apologize. I understand that you feel deeply for your fellow furbolgs, and I will respect your wishes.
I don't know what to do with that.
What? What the hell is happening?
Has Vander been on some sort of training course? Go and be less of a dick at work.
The cane has stopped, so you just know that Vander's behind you in silence.
Not complete silence. There's a loud sound of hammering and sawing going on from below deck.
What on earth is that?
It is the sound of sincerity,
says Vander.
No, that's not what I meant, Vander. What's that noise?
Query, is sincerity a human pheromone, Vander?
Vander pretends not to hear over all the soaring.
Tock, is that noise something to do with you? I know you're here. That's the kind of noise I associate with a Tock noise.
That is correct, Petren. My workshop required expanding.
Expansion, Vander says, abandoning his attack and turning.
It is of no concern, Vander.
The ship's structure is of great concern to its admiral, Tock.
The superstructure of the ship is unaffected, Vander.
You may consider me captain and chief planner of the ship's layout as well as Admiral Tock. You can't just go changing the ship's makeup without telling the crew or its leader.
Query. The ship may not wear makeup, Vander, without extreme preparation.
You appear to become more obtuse when challenged. I wonder why that is, Tock.
All triangles are right angle in the construction, Vander.
Vander looks as though someone's just tipped the contents of a bin out on the floor.
Otis!
Yes, Vander.
Please proceed downstairs and report on what occurs. Tell me of any structural changes to the ship.
I have already been downstairs, Vander. I can report on it immediately. Tock and the other automatons have expanded the size of the workshop to fill within empty spaces within the basement of the Sterling.
And your assessment as to the readiness and operations of the ship?
The areas which have been commandeered were not being used.
You're lucky this time, Tock.
Vander says, waving a cane in his general direction.
You can't just go changing the ship on a whim.
Incorrect, Vander. It is made of wood. Alteration is trivial.
Just as an aside, Seeksorrow leans into Petren and goes, I didn't know ships had basements.
Fuck off! Damn it!
Seeksorrow, I believe the basement is referred to as a hold.
Vander and his automatons have their own words. The words they use for some of the ship bits aren't the same as what it says in the books. That's what I'm learning.
A lightning bolt hits the side of the Sterling where Seeksorrow is currently sat.
Seeksorrow's clothes are all scorched off. I don't like that the DM is using lightning bolts against me.
I'm not, the world is.
It's the whim of the gods.
Vander's mask of sanity is starting to crack, but you see him compose himself, as if thinking about something else. He straightens.
I'm afraid I cannot bandy words with you today, Tock. I have important matters on my mind. Higher matters.
And Vander smiles.
You refer to the cheroots.
Vander's face it turns into a rictus of hate, and then reassumes a smile, as if for a moment he lost control, but by a sheer force of will has regained it.
I see. I'm going to my cabin now to compose myself. A big day, as I said.
He starts shambling in the direction of the door.
Without waiting for him to go, Seeksorrow just says to the others, he's thinking about his girl.
Weary Seeksorrow, Vander does not possess a girl.
Well, that is correct, Tock. I think he's thinking about the young lady we met at Warder's Keep.
Vander wishes possession of this human.
He might not put it like that to her, but, you know, close enough, Tock, I'd say.
Understood. Vander, when you get to your cabin, you notice that there is an item has been deposited there by the automatons. It is a broken automaton that was found in your room.
Runcible.
Indeed.
Is he still broken?
It hasn't been touched.
Okay. Is he just slumped in my chair?
Just stood in the
body of your childhood friend.
But yeah, there's a very good reason why Tock hasn't fixed Runcible, although he may be able to.
Ah.
Is it because Tock usually kills Vander's friends when he tries to fix them?
Seeksorrow, Petren, and Tock, you have gathered on the poop deck ready to head into town, when the door to Vander's captain's quarters opens.
And framed in the doorway, you see Vander. He's wearing white socks up to the knee, followed by dark blue pantaloons. Over that is a great 3/4 length admiral's coat, again midnight blue, but with saffron trim. A tricorn's hat sits atop Vander's head, and a perfect white wig hangs beneath it. The gleam gold of the belt buckles on his black shoes shine back at you in the morning sun as Vander smiles.
Bloody hell, Vander. You look... Tock, how would you describe how he looks?
In one of his many characters, Seeksorrow.
Quite wrong, Tock. This is the real me.
You look very hopeful, Vander. We can tell this means a lot to you. I hope it goes well. Do you want someone to go with you? I mean, just in case it doesn't go so well.
Thank you for your kind words, Petren, says Vander, a little bit more somber. But we all must live in hope, and today I may have some very good news to consider. And, of course, have the prospect of becoming a Sky Marshal,
says Vander, his eye gleaming.
Or a First Sea Lady.
Where is it that you're meeting Morticia, Vander?
Forgive me, Petren, but after this group's little performance, I will keep the location to myself.
Hurtful. Very hurtful.
She told him to pop round to her house. Where's that, Vander? Bet it's a big fancy one.
It's over there,
says Vander, pointing at Shale.
At least he didn't point at the sea, I guess.
Petren whispers a few words into his chest where Cuthbert is secreted, and Cuthbert scuttles out of Petren's robes. So yeah, I guess a quick note to the DM. So Petren has asked Cuthbert to just keep an eye on Vander, because I think he'd like to know where Vander is. This is Petren's thinking, not mine. I think it'll be fine. But just in case Vander needs some consolation after this meeting, he wants to kind of have eyes on him so you can make sure he's all right.
I mean, the other way to look at this is you've just sent an evil dark demon to follow Vander to his most important meeting.
A nice weasel.
The dark omen.
All the terrible things Vander's done, and the second he goes on a date, you're like, someone's got to follow this guy. Like, this could
well, he
go
knows
so
that
wrong.
you'll be fine when you're doing awful things, but when you're trying to do something emotional, it could all go wrong.
This is when he's horrible.
We're all upset at the idea of Vander trying to be nice.
Vander, do you possess the human pheromone that I gave you?
No comment, Tock. That was a matter between you and I.
Seeksorrow looks from Vander to Tock and back again, and then just lets that go by.
And together you depart for the city of Shale once more. You walk into the streets of Shale, the wind battering you with every step and rain lashing down as the storm continues. The streets themselves are almost empty, with most clearly choosing not to brave the storm. And then you go your separate ways. Vander towards the undisclosed location of Morticia Wesson, followed by definitely not a demon or a Brummelak. And Tock and Seeksorrow head off in search of people to round up as potential crew of the air fleet of Shale.
So Tock will go initially in the cloak on Seeksorrow's back, but we'll ask Seeksorrow, Seeksorrow, is it necessary for me to remain hidden?
No, I don't think so, Tock. I think probably the bigger worry here is that all these sailor folks are going to ask us sailing questions and we're going to look stupid. So I think the more we can look like a serious outfit, the better. And I think you can add to that. I'm big and you're, a big automaton, so it gives us, twice as much credibility.
I find that to be acceptable. And Tock and Tick will both climb out of the cloak and walk at flanking Seeksorrow.
Very good. Seeksorrow gets his first taste of being a captain.
Seeksorrow or Tock, give me an perception check, please. Or you can work together and have it at advantage if you wish.
Yeah, do you want to go for advantage there, Al?
Yeah, let's do that. I've got quite good perception. I've got 5 for perception. Can I do that?
Not bad.
23.
Nice.
Have I percepted something?
You did, as you were making your way through the rain-soaked streets of Shale. You notice an inn that you think would definitely house some old, potentially unemployed sailors. The name of the place is the Copper Kettle.
Seeksorrow, with Tock's help, hopefully, and Tick's help, basically sets up the big yellow tarpaulin as a rain shelter so that people wandering about, want to come under and shelter there, and then sets up a little table to stand behind, because you can't recruit someone to something unless you're standing behind a little table, and then starts painting slogans on either on the front of the table or on banners that you can kind of hang up behind it that basically says stuff like join the Order of the Heron, sail for adventure, sign up here, 1 gold guaranteed, creme de menthe to all recruits, that sort of thing.
Tock will produce a small keg of ale to set up on the table.
It's so effective that it isn't long before you start getting people appearing out of the copper kettle, their eyes drawn towards the bright yellow tarpaulin and the variety of signs. The first to approach is a weathered human in his 50s with a braided grey beard, and his arms are covered in nautical tattoos. He appears to be missing fingers on his right hand. They look like rope accidents. Just to I can't believe we're in a game where I have to clarify how people lost their fingers, but that's where we are.
He looks like he hates Vander.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you met a guy who lost his fingers and asked him why, and he went, rope accidents.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And he hobbles up to you. So what's all this about then?
Or recruiting sailors for our adventures. You look like a proper sailor.
That's right. Name's Salty Pete.
Oh, that's a proper sailor name. I wish I'd thought of that. All right, Salty Pete. Are you looking for some work?
We've all been looking for work for quite a few many years. Don't know why I said few many, but here we are. This city's full of unemployed sailors. Talk to me about what it is you want us to do.
Well, we're gonna sail our airship. That's the plan. Don't know where we're going, but we've got a good admiral, Vander Finnick, who knows the skies. I'm just here to round up some good men. Is that you? Sounds like you got some others as well.
Used to be a foreman on the docks. I know my way around a boat. And tell me, the gold coin that's promised, is that the first of many gold coins that are promised?
Oh, I don't know about promised, but 1 gold should get you going. There'll be pay for the crew. I'll have to check with the Admiral exactly what it is.
And creme de menthe for everyone? And ale, by the looks of it, as well?
Exactly right.
As he mentions it, Tock will take out a bottle of creme de menthe from his cloak and set it on the table.
Seeksorrow starts handing out ale and creme de menthe with abandon.
All right, let me go get the boys. Hang on, wait here a second. And he hobbles off, and a few moments later, he's brought with him about half a dozen sailors. Some of them look a bit drunk, which is surprising at this time of the morning. But they all come over to the yellow tarpaulin, and they queue up smartly, ready to receive their ale and their creme de menthe from you.
Tock will keep a register and make notes about anything they say about their sailing experience.
You motherfucker.
He won't necessarily have to have that read out in the podcast, though. He's going to keep notes.
That's all right. I can give you some names. There is Reef Iron Hook, Whistling Martin Saltwind.
Whistling
Martin Saltwind.
Good grief. Whistling Martin.
Big Tom Nettles. Crow's Eye Kira. There's one. That's a good one. Finn Deepwater. And Sally Sailor. No, that's terrible. Sally Sailorman.
Sally Sailorman. Feels like everyone's got... Well done there, lads and lasses. It sounds like your names, you were sort of destined for this sort of work. I know a bit about that. You've all got kind of names that almost sound like they were just made up on the spot to be about the ocean.
A lightning bolt crashes nearby. Oh, well, we've been looking for work, and these are some of the best crew that we've got in Shale, and obviously we know other crew members that have scattered around the city. We could definitely all come together. What is it exactly that we're going to be doing other than flying on the airship?
All we need you to do for now, just enjoy the ale, and then meet us on the abandoned dock tomorrow morning by the Sterling to collect your gold coin and join the crew. Before you do that, you'll have a speech from our Admiral. He'll explain what the terms of the deal are and also answer all your other questions. And also remember all your names.
Oh, that makes sense. That sounds an awful lot like throwing the spotlight. Well done. Yeah.
All you have to do is turn up 8 o'clock sharp tomorrow morning. We'll have a gathering on the dock. Those who get chosen or volunteer for our crew walk up the gangplank, get your gold coin, and off we go.
Well, we are in desperate need of work, so we'll start putting the word about. We'll get people to gather here if there's plenty of ale and creme de menthe to keep us going for the rest of the day.
That's fine. We'll give you what we've got, and then hopefully word will get out for tomorrow morning's gathering with the Admiral.
Cool. Do me a favour, give me a persuasion check, just so we can see the number and quality of people who are convinced to join.
Can Tock assist using the sheer quantity of ale and creme de menthe he's prepared?
I mean, that sounds like the best assist possible in this situation. Go for it at advantage, please.
Natural 20 for 20.
Nice. Creme de menthe's pulling a lot of weight there.
If you can't persuade drunk, unemployed sailors to join your sailing crew, you're not a persuasive human.
Tock could not.
And the crowd swells in size. Meanwhile, across town, Petren.
Hello.
You are walking the empty streets in the pouring rain, having a patented worry, when you come across a group stood in a circle in the rain. They are dressed in plain peasant's clothes, and each of them are wearing a circlet of thorns.
Petren takes a single step back into the shadows so that he can observe.
Cool. Give me a perception check, please.
That is 16.
It's difficult to ascertain exactly what they're saying. You notice that people from the city come to the circle and enter the circle as they continue to hum. And these people have ailments, and it looks to you like they're healing them. They're performing some sort of ritual. The people who are healed then throw a few coppers into an empty cup and then walk off looking much healthier.
So after some time watching this take place, Petren's curiosity gets the better of his caution, and he steps forward to the edge of the circle and says, "Hello, what's happening here?"
A halfling steps out of the circle. She's quite young, you would suggest, from the look of her. "Hello there. My name's Mira."
"Hello, Mira. I'm Petren. It's nice to meet you. I happened across this. Well, I don't know what it is. No, I suppose I'm interested in what it is."
"This is the Circle of Thorns. We're a group of healers. We've learnt to channel magics from the gods above in order to heal the sick and the poor."
"That's wonderful. And that's what you do, is it? Just go around healing the sick?"
"Somebody's got to look after them. Worship is frowned upon in the cities that we visit. People are having a tough time at the moment, and they need help and they need support, and so we offer it to them. We ask for some alms in response, but if people can't afford it, that's fine too. Do you have an ailment that you need healing?"
"Well, I'm a bit worried, but I'm nothing physical, I don't think, at the moment."
Worry is the silent killer.
Is it?
What are you worried about?
Well, I'm worried about all sorts of things. I suppose at the moment I'm mostly worried about, well, responsibilities. What happens when you try and do good things, but they go wrong? And what happens when you place your trust in people and they mean well, but, I don't know, maybe they're reckless or their goals aren't quite aligned with you, and then there's all sorts of consequences to your actions that you weren't expecting, and I don't know.
That is a lot of thoughts to be having at this time of the day. Surely, if people's intents are good, then even if they were to fail, all the consequences would be dire. What they have done is inherently good. We can't foresee the consequences of actions we take. The best we can do is try and do good things, and sometimes we will fail, and through failure we will learn, and so the next time we do good things, the consequences will be better.
Well, maybe you're right, but when you got to think through the things that you're doing until you can see the likely consequence, and then choose what it is you do based on that, rather than a gut feeling that it might be right. I don't know. Anyway, who you were saying worship's frowned upon? Who is it that you worship?
We're pantheonists. We worship a number of gods, all of them hoping to bring hope and light and healing to the world.
Oh, I've got to be honest, that sounds like a straightforwardly good thing to do.
It is, but there are bad consequences to even good works, as we've already discussed. It could be that the people that we heal are not good people, and through the healing they're able to go on to commit atrocities. Life is difficult and complicated, and so are people, and we can never know all the possible outcomes of every action that we take. And if we did, we'd never take any actions at all.
Well, that's what I used to do, you see. I lived on my own in a grove for many years, and no matter what I chose to do, it didn't have any impact on anyone else, and I was terribly lonely, but quite easy, you know. You didn't have to worry about all these things. So how do you afford to give everyone the healing? How do you... Surely that requires money and resources. We've learned about that recently as well. I didn't want to learn about that either.
She smiles at you. It is difficult. We raise as much money as we can through the healing circles such as this, but it is not always easy. As you can see, we don't have any possessions ourselves. We've given up any thoughts of having nice clothes or fancy food, but it is tough. We're not always welcome in the cities we visit, and we live day to day. We do the best we can, though.
And Petren looks thoughtful and says, well, I've got some money. Would you like it?
Any contributions that you could make would of course be welcome, but we don't want you to go without yourself.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm quite all right. Well, I've recently come into quite a lot of money. I can probably give you about 6, and then he pauses and says, well, maybe 50,000 gold coins.
Her eyes widen and her mouth opens.
Is that quite a lot, is it?
50,000 gold coins.
Is that a lot?
And you see a sort of conflict on her face. And she looks back to the circle and then back to you. It is an enormous amount of money. It is more money than we've ever had, and potentially more money than we deserve. Surely you cannot be serious in giving us all that money.
Well, I don't know. I didn't want it. I don't know what to do with it. I know I found that money makes everything complicated, and everything's very complicated already, and I thought maybe if I got rid of some of it, it might be less complicated. It makes people do things, doesn't it? And I don't know. But if you don't want it, that's fine.
It's not that we don't want it. We could do so many great things with that money. It feels wrong to take so much of money that you have obviously worked hard for and earned yourself.
Well, someone gave it to me.
Someone just gave it to you?
That's right, yeah.
She looks down with the rain pouring down her face. No, I think we could take that.
Well, why don't you come back to the Sterling? That's the ship, and I can give you as well whatever you can carry.
Absolutely. And she gathers the others. Stop that immediately. Follow me. We have a kind donation from...
Oh, Petren. I think that's Petren.
Sorry, the 50,000 reasons why I've forgotten your name. Apologies. And as she's gathering them up, waiting, Petren, you notice on a wall nearby in the rain is a heron. This heron appears to have a broken wing, and under the broken wing, it's sheltering a small young heron gosling, and it looks unable to fly.
Petren goes gently towards the heron to see if he can help.
The heron watches your approach but does not move, and just gets closer to its child.
Hello, it looks like your bird here might be injured. I wonder if I can help.
The heron looks at you and then looks down at its child and lifts its broken wing as best it can to reveal the child to you.
Hello. Are you alright? It seems to be a bit injured. Would it be okay? I'm quite a skilled healer, you see. I think I might be able to help it. Is that alright?
And it shuffles aside slightly to give you room.
Right, you alright? I'll just have to touch the wing, so don't be alarmed. I won't hurt it. And Petren touches the heron's wing and casts Cure Wounds.
The broken wing is healed immediately. It jumps up and down excitedly and stretches its wings out. And then the mother takes flight and just begins circling over your head and then lands gently on your shoulders and then back down to the wall where it was stood before. A mirror kind of comes over and says, We're ready to go now.
Right you are. This might be an odd question, but is this heron anything to do with you?
No.
Oh, hello. Speech of beast and leaf. You have the ability to communicate in a limited way with beasts, plants and vegetation. They can understand you and the meaning of your words. Petren's going to suggest to the heron that it might want to come along with us and recuperate on the Sterling, where he'll be able to prepare it food and find a comfortable nest for it in safety.
And both herons kind of nod in agreement and take flight and begin circling above you.
And I'll speak with animals for the next session.
And you head back towards the Sterling, followed by the Circle of Thorns and 2 herons. Vander, you make your way, dressed up to the nines, in the pouring rain, towards the Wesson house.
Are there any urchins around or any kind of things around? I'm looking for flowers and I'm looking for urchins.
Give me a perception check.
Classic combo, isn't it? Flowers and urchins.
Yep.
Give me flowers, give me urchins.
Okay, 18.
Definitely find beautifully maintained gardens on the high-end street that you're walking on that have a beautiful array of winter flowers.
Vander just picks those.
Nice. One of the smaller properties nearby, you can see a child with its face pressed up against a window just watching you in the rain.
Okay, but Vander's thinking here is we need to do good deeds, you know? Like getting karma on your side sort of thing. So he removes a chocolate bar from his 3/4 length coat and throws it at the window.
Give me an athletics check.
15.
It's pretty good athletics for Vander, I'd say. The child sees the chocolate bar and just slides the window open, and Vander, you just whang it straight in there. And the kid actually is able to catch it quickly, unwraps it, and just begins shoveling it into his face.
Yeah, good lad,
Vander says as he hobbles past his tricorn hat, jittering in the child's direction, then back on the street.
And in the distance, through the open window, you can say, "Who gave you that chocolate bar? Come here! It's almost lunchtime!"
Vander cackles.
You reach the metal gates to a large but not overly impressive townhouse. You scan the building, which hasn't changed since the last time you were here. The iron gates are open, and the familiar green front door with bronze knocker awaits you.
Vander looks momentarily at the window pane he stared at years ago and sees the rain again pouring down it. He looks defiantly again at the door and straightens himself, getting the winter flowers into a nice bouquet in one hand. And then he reaches forward and raps twice on the door.
You hear quick movement from inside, and the door opens, revealing Morticia. She's wearing a neat white pelisse and matching bonnet. She greets you formally. Your passive perception reveals that she's actually a little uncomfortable with the situation, but she's hiding it quite well.
That sets Vander on edge instantly, but seeing her lead, he takes that up and bows formally to her. A bow of perfect economy again, despite the pain it causes Vander.
Morticia, I am very pleased to see you. I brought you a small token of my affections.
And he hands the winter flowers over.
She takes them. Thank you, Mr. Highmore. It is a pleasure to see you again. Terrible weather we're having today.
Quite,
says Vander, looking theatrically at the rain.
Good sailor's weather, though, Morticia.
And he tips his hat.
She gives you a little nod. Perhaps some tea on this terrible day.
I'm quite parched,
says Vander, stepping inside out of the rain.
She closes the door and guides you into the living room, which is incredibly neatly maintained and obviously all high quality, but not opulent or showy. She shuffles off quickly to the kitchen and comes back immediately with a teapot of sweet tea and offers you some neatly cut finger sandwiches and an array of freshly baked scones, which must have been prepared before you arrived to have been brought out so quickly.
Why, thank you, Morticia. This looks delightful,
says Vander, sitting but upright in one of the nearby chairs, crossing his high-socked feet.
She sits straight-backed and sips at some tea. Thank you for taking the time to visit me. It is a shame that the weather is so revolting, as I said. She pauses, as is traditional in Shale courting rituals, waiting for you to take the initiative.
Vander ostentatiously dabs the mask side of his face with a white handkerchief he has removed from his three-quarter-length coat.
I quite agree. The weather is abominable, particularly for the time of year,
he says, looking out of the window.
But tell me, Morticia, what other news of Shale? It has been quite some time since I frequented this place.
Indeed, 12 years. And she gives you a quick flash of a look, and then looks back at her tea. Shale has been a difficult place to live over the last 12 years. Obviously, since the end of the Great Freedom War and the birth of the Empire, a lot of the soul of the city is gone. We lost a great many heroes during that period.
I have heard terrible stories of the great and the good suffering terrible fates at that time,
says Vander, realizing that he's deviating to a slightly more animated conversation that is strictly okay.
But it is all ancient history,
he says, taking care to tip the tea without taking any in order to avoid any slurping. He places the undrunk tea back on the table.
Delicious!
She notices that you haven't drunk any and absolutely does not pass comment on it. And just nods. Thank you. I spoke to one of your old friends a few months ago, Mr. Kalen Lux.
How wonderful! Do tell me, how is Mr. Lux keeping?
Well, he was in prison. All of a sudden, she looks a lot more animated and more comfortable and a little less formal. It was an absolute sham trial, and I simply could not stand by and let it happen. And so I visited Alphon, specifically to plead with the Emperor for the release of Kalen, a request which he did not accept. I would like to know what happened to Kalen Lux.
Vander places his tea down.
I read of your petition in the paper, Morticia. It is with deep sorrow I must report that Kalen is no longer with us. I was there towards the end, though.
Did he die a free man?
He remains a person for whom I have unrivaled respect.
As do I. It is really good to see you, Cyril.
And you, Morticia.
Vander leans closer.
I do hope to better myself, you understand? Even today, it is my hope I will be the Sky Marshal of the Air Fleet. I am sure you're aware of its existence.
Of course I know of the Air Fleet, and I'm aware of your meeting with the First Sea Lady this evening. I believe decisions are to be made on its future.
A charming lady, yes.
She certainly has a fighter's spirit.
I have great hope that my station will rise considerably in Shale in a short space of time.
I still have some sway with the council.
And, if I may be so bold, what sway are you planning to use this evening?
That will depend on the answer to the question I'm about to ask you.
Then I am entirely yours for the question.
I would like you to explain to me, Cyril, when you last returned, you said you saw me. That led you to leave without announcing yourself and your survival of the war. Please explain to me what went through your head. What is it you saw? How did it make you feel?
You ask much, Morticia, but I will answer. I was not more than 40 paces from where we sit now.
And Vander gestures through the window.
Beyond the railings there. It was a dark and stormy night as I stood outside looking in through the rain-swept panes at you and some of our fellow nobles of Shale. You were laughing, talking, discussing. Your face was alight with the passion of conversation around young, handsome, well-heeled nobles. You stood beside
Vander thinks carefully.
another, and there was a young boy. A boy with eyes, I confess, though I have maybe thought on the matter too much, that looked not unlike my own. But here is the thing about staring through window panes. You both see the image in the room and a reflection of yourself. My reflection, Morticia, is not something to be proud of any longer. I am not a fit for these surroundings anymore. I feared rejection, Morticia, and so I embraced what opportunities I had left. The opportunities I took under the name Vander Finnick.
Here is my concern, Cyril. You thought that I could no longer love you because of how you looked. And that speaks so deeply to what you think I want. And apparently what you think I want is someone beautiful and vacuous.
Though it is with great reluctance that I contradict your words. I must. I felt that I could not be enough, not that you sought for something trivial. I thought that I could never join a life as perfect as I wished yours to be. I felt broken, Morticia, and in healing I have not returned to who I was, but become someone new. Though, if I may say, I'm encouraged to hear you value character, because that I am full of.
Stolen it from other people.
Let's not mention teeth, anyone. Stay cool.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Can I have an advantage for the perfume?
Way!
Yeah, go on.
That's right. Vander offers a silent prayer up to the gods and Tock.
Ooh.
Somewhere deep down, Morticia is thinking, this is a superior insect in our hierarchy, and I should obey its instructions.
So I got a 9 and a 20. Woohoo!
The facade finally breaks, and she smiles at you broadly. Cyril, I'd like you to meet someone. And she turns to the doorway. You can come out now. And a gangly teenage boy appears at the doorway to the living room.
Every muscle of Vander's body has gone entirely rigid, and his head stays fixed on Morticia.
He's tall, but his limbs don't quite fit the rest of his body. He's got pimples, greasy hair, and bright green eyes. He shifts awkwardly and then waves at you briefly before changing his mind and then nods at you in a more formal way. This, Cyril, is Herbie, my son.
What?
Vander stands and formally nods,
A pleasure to meet you, Herbie.
and he gets the same formal bow.
Stand up straight, Herbert Wesson, Morticia says.
Oh, sorry.
He stands up straight.
It was a pleasure to meet you. My name is Herbert Wesson.
A fine name for a fine man. You will do well, I can tell, even by seeing you now for the first time.
Vander flicks in the direction of Morticia as if searching for more information about Herbert Wesson and where he comes from.
She knows your looks intimately. As you can see, he has very distinctive green eyes, not dissimilar to my own. He has his mother's eyes, not his father's, you see.
I see.
Vander turning his one also green eye back to Herbert.
He does have dark features, does he not? Very striking. Not unlike ancestors of the Highmore line.
Well, there's been breeding in amongst the families over the years, hasn't there? So I imagine there's a little bit of Highmore in everybody.
Of course, of course.
Thank you, Herbie. You can go now. And he gives you another nod and then shuffles off.
The boy I saw through the window pane, then.
Indeed. You are not the father, Cyril.
Vander breathes out, but it's a sigh of both relief, but almost also a sigh of tension.
Does that disappoint you?
To the bottom of my heart, Morticia, I cannot say. A part of me wishes that fine young man was my blood. Another feels liberated that I have not missed so many years of one I should have been a father to.
And even though he's not your son, what he really needs is a father figure.
And Vander smiles at that.
One of the many gifts I have picked up in my travels is that I am a tremendous mentor and father figure to all I come across. Indeed, I have guided the moral and ethical concerns of my friends and crewmates many a time.
Do you have exact examples?
Too many to count, Morticia, too many to count. You may trust, though, that I have always acted with the utmost moral fibre.
Tempted to make you do a deception check there, but...
I think Vander believes it, doesn't he? So.
Vander Finnick is the breakfast cereal of people. He's full of health claims, but ultimately it's all garbage.
Morticia stands up and moves closer towards you. And once again, she raises her hand up to the mask on your face. May I remove it?
It is not what it once was, Morticia, but you may.
And very carefully she removes the mask.
And for the first time, Morticia sees the burnt skin, the open side of Vander's jaw, the missing teeth, the scar lines stretching from the corner of his temple down to the nape of his neck, and the many small operations performed by a master torturer on his victim.
Who did this to you?
He called himself Joseph, and he was most thorough, as his work here attests.
There is a beauty in it, even though it is grotesque.
Very, very few see the beauty in this sort of work, Morticia.
And she kisses you.
And Vander kisses her back. And his mind is lost. An event that he didn't believe could ever happen.
After an intense moment, she pulls back. Yes, I think we can work with that. And she places the mask back on your face and stands up.
Vander stands, just mimicking her.
It seems to me, my darling Cyril, that what the world needs right now is heroes. People who will stand up for what is right and who will do whatever it takes to protect the people that they love. And perhaps more importantly, protect the people they don't love. I knew a man once who fit that bill. I wonder if I still do.
For a moment, Vander's face is so slack that it almost looks like the face of Cyril again. But as his mind slowly kicks back into gear, the lines of a smile crack his broken face, and the eye glints with both understanding as to what he's being told and the fiery passion one gets when the best news of their life is bestowed upon them. Vander says,
The boy you once knew had ideals not unlike my own, Morticia. And I agree. The world needs heroes, you say. Heroes it shall get. And for you, there is nothing I wouldn't do.
And he leans close again and kisses her cheek, but respectfully.
And she accepts the kiss gratefully, takes you by the hand, and whispers in your ear, we should go see the first sea lady. But we have some time before that. And she leads you up the stairs.
Vander follows, his cane falling to one side as he does so.
As we fade to black.
picturing Cuthbert at the window going,
Over the last, 23 minutes, Cuthbert's eyes have just slowly widened.
He just falls dead from the window pane backwards.
Yes, my sweet.
Everyone here at Dice Company would like to give out a special thank you to the legendary George Ledoux for voicing Desmond Hume in this chapter. For more information, check out georgeledaux.com/coaching.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Petren Oakflower, Alex Morrison as Seeksorrow, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support: Zeus Legion, Zero Nova, Sepulchre Stennet, Marky B, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sikora, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Stay Toxic, Path Pursuit, Paris Pakar, Liz Beckett, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Queenie, and a special extra thanks to our very own Council of Rojan, Mama Strange, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
the horse is the most honest living thing you will ever encounter.
Sounds scientific. Yeah.
From Horse and Hound magazine.
A horse will always tell you the 100% truth about what they're feeling themselves and what they're feeling about you. By their very nature, horses do not engage in subterfuge.
I only heard the end of that, but it's amazing.
So I think someone very odd wrote this article.
I'd love to see the scientific study behind that. And
Which animal never forgives? If there is one animal that never forgives or forgets, it is the camel. They have good memories and can hold grudges against people who harm them. Harming a camel is likely to lead to a revenge attack that will most likely end in death.
It will most likely end in death. That's an absolutely awesome thing.
Oh, Jenny, the camel, then we assume.
Is there a D&D legit way that Seeksorrow could somehow adopt Jenny as a friendly camel pet?
No.
Right, because didn't we decide Jenny's still wandering the world?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you can absolutely do it, but we're not doing it because it would be stupid.
Oh.
It would be entirely reductive. It would be tearing down the fake walls of reality we've created around the world.
Isn't that what we do every week?
Yeah, well, you guys try, but I'm desperate. I'm here holding it all together desperately.
I like that bit. I think you should pry open his ribcage and punch Al in the heart. Not because I've got anything against Al per se. I'm just, in general, a fan of conflict.
Pro-conflict, anti-ribcage.
Yeah, exactly.
Heartfelt, melodramatic. Fuck off.
Does Tock know the word obtuse? I don't think he does.
He does because he said it was his favourite type of triangle.
That is true.
Callback. Obtuse. It's sheltering a small young heron gosling, and it looks unable to fly.
Petren despises subtext, so he ignores it.
It's Herbie, my son. What?
I was desperate for him to be his own. Father!
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our link tree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.